let's try this again. Hopefully you guys have audio. You should have audio. If you don't have audio, let me know. If you don't have audio, don't have video, don't have a brain, can't do anything about the third one, but the first two I can toggle and twist and try different things until the damn thing works. Other than that, hello? How you doing? My name is my name. I'm Cover Killer Nation. I welcome you. I have to wait for a second here for this to catch up, considering I have to sit through my own ad. Huh. What's going on? We're trying this lovely idea again, considering yesterday it decided it was not going to work. We had some pretty inclement weather in the area that definitely played a part in the demise of the stream. Just want to make sure that I keep this chat up a little bit. I have to actually scale it upward. I'm trying to get used to that. Don't use ad blocker, god damn it. Where do you think I make most of my money from? The little money that I make. What's going on? Stream looks good. Glad to hear. The under 1 minute club? Oh, well. Obviously, I'm going to have to add a little bit more of a spark to this thing. Well, hello, kids. How's it going? Anyway. Ad blocker, geez. You guys are killing me. Killing me here. Oh, it's going pretty well. I can't complain. It's about 9 o'clock over here. Last night, after watching a lot of the Lemmy funeral, I went over and watched the Bengals and Steelers playoff football game. And man, oh man, was that a crazy, crazy fucking game or what? The stuff that happened at the end of that, I have fierce opinions about that I'm not going to get into, considering we talk music here and everything else. Let's be honest. Let's be real. So let me tell you a little bit about what we are aiming to do for this evening. John, to answer your question, I don't know. My original plot was maybe just an hour, but I might go a little longer than that. We're going to see how long the internet holds up is essentially what I'm saying. The winds have died down. We have gone from, a front sweeping in, bringing us, just torrential rain and then some pretty nice snow clips today. Nothing that really stuck all that much. More so just a dusting from what your eyes can see. But if you witnessed it, if you were here, it looked like it was going to be a lot worse than it actually ended up being. But since that is all in the back burner, I'm hoping that the net will be stable. I'm also wondering if maybe YouTube experienced a little bit of crash, considering the swath of people that were flocking over for the live stream for Lemmy's funeral. If you did not get a chance to check it out, there are videos already that have surfaced. They exist. The feed is there. I highly recommend that you check it out. It was a very emotional event. It was a very real event, and there were stories there, and there were jokes told and things like that that I've already started repeating to friends and family alike. And first of all, show of yeses, how many of you checked out the Lemmy Kill Mr. Funeral yesterday right here live on YouTube? Let me know. Give me a I checked it out or a yes or whatever it may be. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, so we have a couple of folks that looks like they have wow, okay, it's all swathing through. They're all coming in. They are called snow squalls, but whatever. It's a little bit of semi-lake effect. But yeah, someone did pick out that they saw me in the chat. Like the very one time that I posted something, I was searching for about through 2 or 3 minutes during Scott Ian's through his eulogy to try to find the spade emoticon, and then just spam that for about 6 or 7 times, and that was kind of my way of showing my respect before I had to bow out to head over for the game. But I really like the stories. I really like the jokes. I remember seeing Scott Ian's story in the liner notes for the live album that he was speaking about. I had a buddy that had that album, and so it was almost like hearing a story all over again, or kind of getting the substance behind it. You know, hearing something from the man, excuse me, hearing something from the man himself, as opposed to just reading it, brings it to life a little bit, because you sort of see their whole entire manner of telling the story. You know, you kind of get their whole mindset and their whole delivery process behind it. And one of the coolest aspects about that story was just how real and how true that had to be for somebody who's 15 years old in the early 1980s, and you have these freaking, you have Motorhead here, and you're looking at this cover and you're like, the fuck? Oh man, let me tell you something. I suck the best damn dick in the West, motherfucker, so shut the fuck up and get the fuck out. But at any rate, yeah, there are trolls everywhere, and as we are very plainly accustomed to. There are people that are going to always think that it's the time and the place. We live in a society where that is the norm. It really is. That is the norm anymore. And I do a bit of trolling myself every now and again, but I tend to like to use my words as opposed to antiquated symbols of a Third Reich that, not the sounds, you know, one way or the next, ultimately failed. Ultimately failed. And to those that compare Hitler to Trump or whatever, I don't know. It's getting to the point where with stuff like that, I'm just growing very tired of it. And over the past month and a half, a couple of posts that I've made have sort of doused up a little bit of trouble. I've lost a couple friends over them, and quite frankly, I could sit here and be tremendously upset about that, and maybe I should be. Maybe I'm showcasing a little bit of recklessness and a little bit of what's the word that I'm looking for? Maybe I need a little reform, but I don't feel all of that bad about it. Because if one side is going to say what they say and really divvy up jokes in their variety toward their targets, there are going to be some that are going to be directed toward yours. It's just the way that it is. You have to be able to laugh at yourself a little bit. You have to be able to step aside a little bit, recognize the internet for what it is, recognize social media for exactly what it is, grow a pair and get some thicker skin. And the funny thing is I say all of that and I feel like the biggest hypocrite, considering I myself am not unfamiliar with those feelings of, oh man, that was a savage attack. That was pretty brutal. But, you know, you have to be willing to take just as much as you can dish out. If you're going to dish something out, you have to be willing to take it as well. Donald Trump is our American hero. Donald Trump will keep America safe from communism and China. Donald Trump is our only solution against the Plutonian invasion. Pluto is a planet. Nah. Oh, man. If Trump wins, America will riot. If AJ Styles shows up at the Royal Rumble in 2016, I think the whole entire crowd will riot in the positive. They may collectively jism themselves until they run out of seed. There might be babies formulated in that arena. That's all I will say. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I'm fucking around too, John, and it's just a ton of fun. It really is at this stage of the game, because it's still so early on. You know, I'm seeing all these posts one after the next about stupid thing he said here, stupid thing there. First of all, half of them I don't even know if they're true, and second of all, I really don't give a shit. I'll care more, and I'll probably do more whenever it comes to that. closer to election season, and it might not even be on the main channel. It might be on the CKN versus the World, which will come back. I have a pair of videos that I'm sort of kind of like developing for the grand return, one of which will be part of the WWE series. The other part will be just a general thing because I finally saw it, guys. I finally saw it. It's only been out for nearly a month, but I finally saw The Force Awakens, and I kind of wanted to deliver a couple of thoughts on that and do my best not to spoil too much, but still try to be a bit analytical. So we will see. I did see the Triple H eulogy. I thought that was really cool. I loved the part where he said that Lemmy came up to him whenever he was a heel and was talking about how much he sucked and said, "Man, you suck. You're not very good at this, which means you're perfect for Motorhead." I was like, yeah, that's what's up right there. You know, that's the kind of perspective that we almost have to take in this life. You have to just be fucking willing to kind of step outside yourself every so often. And I feel this world takes itself way too seriously. And I hope that this whole obsession with New Year, New You would really... No, I didn't. I didn't hope that. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Oh, man. What happened to the channel? I took a break, is honestly what happened. I focused a lot more on what was happening on the main channel during the month of December with the heavy metal holidays, and then with the different lists. And then I do have a couple things that I do with family and friends and stuff during the holiday season. So there was some days and some moments where I just was not available whatsoever. So I took the high road with that and opted to just sort of go a little bit against the grain, you know, not produce any content for that channel, which is kind of a risky thing. But, you know, I had to do what I had to do. Now, somebody asking about the Rumble, what I think about that, that's going to be the WWE themed video for CKN versus the World, which will be coming probably this week, considering the announcement was made that Roman Reigns is going to have to defend against all 29 members of the Rumble, blah, blah, blah. I don't like the idea, but I could see where the idea could be kind of cool, and we all know that the safe route's going to be taken here. And I think at this point in time, if the WWE really wanted to shock us, they would have Reigns lose the belt. But that's not what they're really aiming to do here. You know, at this point in time, they have finally... It's amazing because last year we were saying that a lot of WWE fans were saying, we're going to get to the music here very, very shortly. This is just something I have an opinion on. We were talking about how Roman Reigns is essentially being shoved down our throats and in our faces. Well, they finally discovered the way to do it where it actually works, is kind of what it is. I'm still not over the moon about the guy. I think the Superman punch is a terrible finisher. I really do. I think it's super duper dumb. And the old backyard wrestler in me has already thought of like 4 or 5 different counters where it could look like the Superman punch connected, or, you know, it's not interrupting the motion whatsoever, and it could easily be countered. And I hope the hell that that some of those options get utilized, because if this is this be-all, end-all, instantaneous, like RKO out of nowhere move, then all of this build that they're giving them is going to quickly diminish. So, to move back into the music, I guess, we spent the first 10 minutes not talking about music aside from the Lemmy funeral. I probably won't get a chance to see Black Sabbath on their final tour, and I'm not all of that, I'm not all of that mad about it, because I've seen Black Sabbath live a couple of times. That's one of the benefits of Ozfest. It really is. So there's that. You're not going to stop saying what I missed at Ultimate Game Nerd. What? The Superman punches in his finisher? Was it the spear? Oh, Symphony X discography. One thing I'll mention whenever we get the channel stuff is something about discographies, about how those are going to be handled in the future, because I'm finding out with this Rush one, I'm really bad at doing discographies and keeping up, because I like to do so many different things, and they're also ones that don't necessarily get a crap load of support. I don't play Goat Simulator. I just watched somebody play about 20 minutes of Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015 and found that to be like the dumbest game in history. But he brought up a good point while he was doing so. It's almost like this whole thing, this whole fad, it's slowly turning into making really obnoxious and really silly like simulator or just bad games. But I must say, speaking of games that have horrible names that end up being halfway decent, who here has heard of or played Pony Island? Because holy fucking shit, was Pony Island freaking cool. Yeah, number 23 high score globally in Goat Simulator. That's great. That's freaking great. But the thing is, I heard that Goat Simulator is like legitimately fun. I heard that was legitimately fun. If you like weird games that are kind of like within the 8-bit realm that have just twisted storylines, try Pony Island out. It's really, it's something. It's something, that's for damn sure. Pony Island is a... I really don't want to give too much away about Pony Island, but essentially the best way that I can describe it is that it looks like an old arcade cube. And the game itself is very basic, and the challenge is derived from some of the different things that occur as the story starts to unravel. Because there is a story to Pony Island that, by the way, does not really involve ponies all of that much. It doesn't really involve ponies all of that much at all. Pony Island is actually more of a game within a game. That's probably the best way that I can describe it. It's at times it can seem a bit fucked up, and at times it is kind of a bit fucked up. They're doing some pretty cool programming stuff with indie games these days. The way in which some of the files are able to affect some things that, you know, the manipulation that they're able to use with the HUD, not to mention with everything that you have running in the background as well. So I think this is just a game that you should check out if you want a. It's challenging, I'll say that. It certainly is a challenging game. But it's also one that you can complete within like 2 to 3 hours with some relative ease. You might not gather everything, and you might not get the perfect ending, but it's pretty funny. It's what's really kind of neat about it is that I was so like impressed with this game was after I finished a playthrough, and after I finished watching a guy, I actually watched and scanned through a PewDiePie video of the game, and I was surprised because he was not. It was one of those LPs of his that he was not completely and totally ass backwards obnoxious. Because I don't really have a large problem with PewDiePie as a gentleman and as a YouTuber. At times, though, he tries way too fucking hard. And people just let it happen. Do I know who Undertaker Freak 1127 is? Yes, I do. I do not follow the man. I see that name come up every so often. Some troll that got famous for doing something really stupid. You know, kind of what, you know, that's what the internet rewards these days. Like, I should really just stop making legitimate album reviews and just start saying that everything is balls. Like, my next video should just say that Andy Bursock is a girl, or say that Onion Song or whatever the hell, that MTV dumbass. I should just say that he's secretly a fucking refrigerator that has grown the ability to speak. I don't watch The Amazing Atheist. I've watched some of the stuff in the past, but I don't follow The Amazing Atheist. What's going on, Matt? How's it going? So I say that I'm brainstorming here mainly because I made an announcement for Members Monday, and I still have not 100% got down when the best time is to post stuff over on Facebook. It doesn't seem to like to distribute extremely well. So the two things that I was going to do for Members Monday tomorrow was a relevant or ridiculous episode, and also an episode of, I believe it was the What If game. I need to check my own post now. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I don't have to check it. I have a memory. It exists. What the fuck is this? This is reality, Rod. Welcome. You have finally made it. You have been late for reality, for IRL, for 17 years and 8 months and 26 days. I'm going on about 4 hours, 3 seconds, 4, 5, 6. Where's Lemmy's funeral? It happened already. It existed in the past. It's there, though. It's available online. You can find it very easily. Very nice flower arrangement that they had. You'll see that they had about 3 amps set up behind the podium. Really cool stuff. So at any rate, we're still going to try to do this. I'm still going to try to pull this off. A what if and irrelevant or ridiculous for tomorrow's Members Monday. So what I, of course, am going to need are a couple of ideas, considering Members Monday means that CKN, all that I really do is turn one of your ideas into reality. That's really the point of everything. And I would like to do that. And usually it is something that I restrict to the Facebook group. Oh, gosh. I read about the kind that it was, Frank. But all I know is it was extremely aggressive. It was very, very aggressive. Am I a Republican or a good person? I'm an asshole. I'm not a member of the Tea Party. I'm a member of the Earl Grey Party. I'm a fancy fuck. That's what's up. I'm such a fancy fuck that you have to speak to me properly whenever you make love to me. If you don't do that, then I just kick you right the fuck out. Oh, wait, I don't kick you out. I just tell you to get out, and then I get my slaves, my manservants, my woman servants, and my manservants, they're slaves, to come and forcibly remove you from my presence. Now, I'm speaking directly about what if Chick didn't die. Oh, man. If Chick didn't die, my life would suck. Because, God damn it, that's annoying. All that meow, 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 meow. Anyway. Horrible, sexist, oh, God. Just lost 5 more friends. Oh, well, whatever. Whenever it comes to deaths, there are only certain ones that I feel that I can do much with. Like, I've seen a couple that's over here in the chat, and I want to sort of, like, I don't want to dismiss a lot of stuff or just whatever, but, you know, if the Rev didn't die, the theme of Nightmare is a little bit different. It's completely different, in fact. But they'd already started writing some stuff. So Nightmare would have been a bit of a different album. Their self-titled record may or may not have been changed. There's not really much to go off of. I think that Chuck is one where Control Denied was where he was going, and you might see a death reunion eventually. So there's really not much to go with those things. It would be really nice if Chuck would have finished, you know, if he'd have recovered and everything like that. Oh, I'm just depressed. I need a hobby. Oh, all right. Well, time to start masturbating, I guess. I was really hoping I never had to do that. Control Denied definitely would have grown, though. They were very respected for the fragile art of existence, and I feel that would have been something, that those have been avenues they have just continued to explore. more and more with a lot more progression coming along the way. I think that Chuck was just a man that really loved to challenge himself. And any way that he was going to have to challenge himself, he was going to do that. Why is sleeping with sirens popular among common youth? I have no idea. I wish that I had an answer to that question. Common youth is kind of silly. Actually, I think they're just more of a Vogue band. They're Vogue. And the funny thing is that whenever you already have a pre-established group of people that like a certain style of music, like what people have done with pop punk and post-hardcore and everything like that, I really think that that sort of sets a foundation that allows the next generation to be a part of that. How do you make music like Trent Reznor? You hurt yourself today to see if you still feel. You make your studio like 5 kilometers under the earth, which you didn't really do, but you get what I'm saying. Basically, if it sounds really fucked, do it. That's what I'm going to say. What are my thoughts on Rage Against the Machine? They raged against that damn machine until they broke it, and then they broke up. Would I remake the Symbolic and Sound of Perseverance reviews? If I were to do that, I'd just do the entire discography, which we'll talk about discographies shortly. What if Alexi Laiho was taller? You'd probably suck at guitar. Sleeping with Sirens, all-time low or a day to remember? I choose death. No, I don't. Probably all-time low. All-time low is not that bad. The worst of 3 evils, maybe. Day to Remember has some stuff that's... They have the potential to be okay. It's all just potential, though. It's all just potential, though. What if the Wiggles covered Lack of Comprehension? That would be the best cover in history. It would be amazing. Just so long as they somehow, in the middle of the song, break it down where they include the line fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Do I watch H3 Productions? No, I don't. I've seen that name. Needle Drop, I think, was the association there. All right, well, now see, what if Bon Scott didn't die? It's interesting, but not as interesting as you might think. Because if you remember, AC/DC was a band that had a raucous fan base. A lot of them were based in Australia. They were starting to get some real traction overseas. They were seen as an important band. They were seen as an important part of the overall landscape. But Back in Black was the thing that put them over the top. It made them the band of that moment. And I feel that if you remove Brian Johnson from that equation, if you put Bon Scott in that equation, first of all, I don't think Back in Black happens, because a lot of Back in Black was sort of inspired by the fact that Bon would have wanted them to continue. So I think you have a very different sounding album. I don't think it's as iconic. See, that's the thing that a lot of people forget. And it's not necessarily because they just choose to or because they're stupid. You know, there's no ill will directed in that statement. It's just the fact that so many of the things that seem to happen after somebody passes on, there seems to be this real gravitation that occurs. And some of their work that follows ends up being pretty solid stuff. Like, you take a look at Metallica, and you might not look at And Justice for All as the strongest of the original 4 albums, the 4 thrash records, but it was one that felt very special. You take a listen to Back in Black, and it's definitely a bit different, but it has a sound that really resonated with a lot more people. And it's really an album that feels very geared toward America. I'm not going to lie. This is one that feels very Americanized because it seemed to really mirror a lot of what classic, radio rock was really very keen on. And they take this aggressive edge to it. And, they add all of these, very, very sort of like subtly sexualized lyricism to it. And then some that was just blatant in your fucking face. And it works. It worked tremendously for them. I remember being a younger man, and You Shook Me All Night Long came on the radio. I was probably 10 years old in the car with my parents. And I think that we were over at my grandmother's house. We were waiting to pick her up. We were going to go somewhere, probably to church or, some sort of function. And I remember my mother turning back to me and saying, that's impossible. You cannot physically shake somebody all night long. I just thought to myself, what? Where the fuck did that come from? Oh, man. Saint Anger is one that has aged a lot better than I think people think. One of these days, I just watched the reshoot of the Lulu album review I did a couple of years ago for the Metallica discography. I'd like to do that again one of these days. Maybe whenever that album hits 10 years old in 2021, I'll opt to do that again. That was 2021, wasn't it? 2011, whenever that dropped. I think so. But, I'm thinking to myself, I think to myself that some of the more interesting ones, based off of the style I like to use for the what ifs as far as deaths are concerned, are people like, Andy Wood, where their whole entire career is like a virtual unknown based around what happened. Who would I like to have a few drinks or tokes with? Tons of freaking people in this community. If It on Amsterdam, Count Blackgrowth, Runner JMA, Fulton's Reviews, I Owe Him. There are a lot of folks that I would love to just get together with and hang out and record with, be in the same area, the same location and do shoots and just make up funny, crazy skits that may not even be all that heavy metal related. Why did you skip Ian Gillan and Ozzy from the top vocalist lists? Because they did not make the cut. Plain and simple. I really don't think that Ozzy is one of the top 10 vocalists of all time. His vocal wobble might sound a bit iconic to people, but there are people way better than him. And that's another thing. I'm not going to be at all times one of these folks that's so draped in convention with some names or some bands where I feel like that's who has to be where people think that they're supposed to be. We are going to see a Metal Melting Pot reunion. I forgot to mention that in the State of the Music address. JD, what's going on, kid? How's it going? The Kurt Cobain one could be pretty interesting, although, as I mentioned yesterday to those who were here, not as interesting as people think. I think a lot of people, whenever they talk about Kurt Cobain and they want Kurt Cobain's life sort of extended and everything like that, they want to see him in this light that has been seen by the media now for the past 20 years, ever since it happened. He's been painted as this hero of rock and roll. He's been painted as this martyr of rock and roll, where his poetry is being placed on T-shirts, and girls that don't even know that Nirvana is a fucking band, they think it's just some sort of slogan for life, is wearing them. And whenever you say Kurt Cobain's name, they that's him right there. But whenever you ask him what the fuck he did, they'll just be like, he was amazing. That's not what he wanted. That's the thing. I guess it's the exact opposite of what really Kurt Cobain wanted to be. And at this point in time, the fact that he decided to step away permanently was really a decision that was made because he just wanted to make music. He just wanted to make music and have fun. Didn't really want to be popular. So many kids these days have the dream of being in this big popular band and making tons of money and this and that, and Kurt just wanted to make music. You know, Kurt just wanted to fucking jam out and be destructive. And there's a lesson right there. You know, there really is a lesson right there that can be learned from Kurt Cobain of all people. You know, you guys might be thinking, Kurt Cobain, how's a metal band going to learn dick from Kurt Cobain? Let's go out and make music for music. Make music to have fun, be destructive, just try something silly and dumb. You never know what might work. You never know what might be stop worrying about having the idea. Sometimes the best things in life occur completely and totally by mistake, with no prior planning, with no prior foresight. It's, you know, there's a lot of people right now talking about what they would do if they'd win the Powerball, and I myself, I'm one of them. But you're already planning on how you spend the money before you even have the money. So whenever you lose, you're just going to be disappointed. So if your goal in the music business is to be a millionaire, and the first gig you play for like 3 people, you're going to be disappointed. You're eventually going to give up. Your skin's not as thick as you think it is. I'm like taking care of trash and all sorts of stuff here. After doing the collab, absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely want to do a lot more. We want to do a whole heck of a lot more this year. This is the year of collaboration. Really the year of community. That's the whole idea, is to bond together a little bit closer and deliver a lot more for you guys. And I just hope that we're able to pull that off. Yeah, no worries, JD. Thanks for being a part of it. I appreciate that. It's a shame that the weather ruined yesterday's broadcast, considering Ed was actually in the chat and Phil Amsterdam was hanging out with us yesterday. It was pretty cool. And one of the big reasons why we're not on Twitch right now is because my laptop, which I still have after 3 years, it is so skittish and bad whenever it comes to trying to stream over there. Probably because of all the moving parts, probably because it's just getting old. It's getting up there. A lot of communities doing a lot of collabs. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that's happened a good bit. And it's really, you can do a little bit more with collaboration than you can just by yourself, as far as having multiple personalities. One thing I was saying yesterday was that whenever I watch streams, even if it's just a gamer, if he has like 3 or 4 different guests on that are just talking over top with him, either that or whether they're playing side by side, racing the game or doing whatever, it just seems like there's so much more that's kind of funny about it, that's kind of poignant about it, that just seems a lot more enjoyable. And I was just looking at my phone because I see I got an email. I wondered if somebody had just gone online. You know, just ripping over stuff and not being all that serious about it. You know, I watch the speed runs every so often for like AGDQ or all that, and these people are just they're so concentrated and stuff, and what they do is incredible. But you know, where's the banter? Where's the real creativity? You know, is it really just about how badly you can break a game? Or is that really the sole source of entertainment? You know, maybe that's just me. If Kerry King didn't go bald, Slayer would still be a relevant band. That's a joke. No, they wouldn't. And Enslaved discography, probably not, unless they won Music Madness. Whenever it comes to discographies, I have to be honest with myself. I have to be honest with all of you. Really, there's just a lot of honesty that has to be really opened up with that whole endeavor. Whenever it comes to long discographies, man, am I bad at those. Even short ones. I've owed you guys a Typo Negative review for like 17 years. And I doubt that's ever going to happen. It might happen one day, who knows. But I still have a lot to do with Rush. I have a month and a half to do it. I've done some discographies in a day or discographies in a weekend. I think aside from Music Madness, if anything like that happens, that's going to be how it happens. You know, it's going to happen in that really quick, controlled way in order for me to know that I'm going to get it done. So that's just kind of the reality of that. That's just kind of the reality of that. And the second reality is also the fact that discography reviews, historically speaking, just don't do very well. They really don't. You know, it seems as though a lot of folks are very focused on what is new, what is current, whenever it comes to talking about the past, and especially something that they might know. And really the only allure is somebody else's opinion. It's not a very large draw. And that's not really the point, obviously. The point is to get the music out there, to get the name out there, to further deliver a little bit of praise for something that we respect. But, you know, it's just something that, historically speaking, not a lot of people seem to really enjoy. And I want to look toward all of you guys a little bit more. I want to see what you guys enjoy, while also doing a lot of what I like on my own as well. Is In This Moment overrated? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I know a lot of folks, like within the community even, would greatly disagree with me, but I think that they are. I guess I'm just one of the few people that just doesn't get it. I don't think they're that good. But why do best of metal albums suck? Because metal is the reverse of pop music. Metal is the reverse of a lot of rock music. The most popular songs for heavy metal are not necessarily the best songs of a band's catalog. There is more of an opportunity for you to find a hidden gem that is better than an entire album just lingering at like track 6 that has got no reason to have any sort of real exposure outside of just being on the record. That's just the truth. Do I think death is overrated? I think that some people give them too much credit. Like, I think a lot of people have jumped on the Death Rules bandwagon. Like, they've really hopped on that dick and just rode it to town. But I love the band. I feel like, you know, it doesn't bother me so much that people are riding their dick, because they're a group that really deserves the respect. They're a group that deserves to have that respect from metal fans, because they are extremely influential and very important whenever it comes to death metal in that genre. What if pop music never existed? You would never have metal, quite frankly. Because pop music is just an idea. Pop music is just an idea. Something else would be popular, and that would be pop music. Because that's all the pop music is popular music. Obviously, as the decades have passed, its meaning has transformed a little bit. Because if you remember what pop music originally was, pop rock music was, in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, all the way up to the current, the idea, the concept, the meaning of pop, or the pop in pop music, always bends and manipulates to adjust to what is really hot at that time. So there you go. I mean, that's really a big part of it. Is Five Finger Death Punch overrated? Yes. Yes. Five Finger Death Punch is tremendously overrated. If I were to do another, if I were to do like a top 10 overrated bands, they would probably be on the list. They'd probably be pretty high too. And it isn't so much an But some bands, I can't include them on lists because I simply don't get it. Like in this moment, for example, I might think they're a bit overrated, but I probably wouldn't include them on a list. I probably would not include them on a list because I really feel that that's just a situation where I don't get it, where it's just me. You know, there are some bands where you know that it's just you. Like you can understand why somebody else might really dig it. Honestly, I think that was my problem with Slipknot for a while. For quite a number of years, I think the problem wasn't so much that they're all of that terrible of a group. It's just that it didn't appeal to me. Like I didn't get it. You know, I think that Five Finger Death Punch is just a group that just they are given way too much credit for not doing much. That's just the truth. You know, Nirvana insanely overrated. I wouldn't go as far as insanely. As far as what defines grunge music is concerned, they're not really overrated. As far as being these massive icons of rock that defined it in the 1990s, yeah, overrated. The 1990s were surprisingly a very, very rock-friendly decade. And a lot of people don't realize that because a lot of it was happening on top of the surface, and a lot of it was also happening underneath the surface. You get these really, really solid albums that just started dropping left and right, up and down. And a lot of people, it's very similar to heavy metal. Everybody thought heavy metal was dead in the 1990s. Nowhere close. Some of the albums that we praised to the high heavens were released in the 1990s, you know, for heavy metal. You know, if you like Horacle from In Flames, that was a 1990s album. If you like anything up to Still Life, I believe, by Opeth, you're in the same boat. If you talk about Brave Murder Day by Catatonia, same thing. The early Anathema albums where they were still growling, where they were still a bit of a doom band, same deal. You know, a lot of death metal albums, a lot of the classics are from the 1990s. You know, you're talking about Sound of Perseverance, Symbolic Individual Thought Patterns by Death, bam, 1990s. 1990s was, it's a decade that a lot of people choose as bandwagon bait, considering many of the like 25 to 35 crowd right now experience the 1990s the way it should be experienced, you know, as far as fan base is concerned. 25 might even be too early, to be honest. But it is subtly, like the more that you investigate it, whenever you examine the movements that occurred in the 1990s and the way in which records were being consumed, it was subtly maybe one of the greatest decades that music has ever produced. Maybe the greatest. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. No, I don't. I used to many, many years ago. Haven't in a long time. And I don't think I would play if offered. Although I'd probably be a pretty amazing dungeon master. I don't think Eludivinium Insanus has aged well. I don't think I can actually determine that. I think one of the things that helps to determine that for an album like Eludivinium Insanus is the follow-up. You know, maybe see what happens. Maybe see what occurs afterward. I don't know. I think that it's about on par with where it was in 2011. There have definitely been worse things that I've listened to ever since that time frame. I think that I've listened to some way worse albums than Eludivinium Insanus ever since. Really within the confines of that very year. Within the confines of 2011. I listened to 2 albums easily that were worse. Listening to Lulu by Metallica and Lou Reed, which I still think has aged like a sack of shit. You know, rest in peace, Lou Reed. Man, that album has just aged like a sack of fucking shit. And then the freaking Dedicated to Chaos by Queensryche. Like, I don't even want to touch that album ever again. See you later, Sebs. Like, I just not at all. Will the new Metallica be better than Megadeth? I can tell you which one we're going to get first. So, I think the new Metallica will be better than Super Collider. It has the potential to be better than 13. But we may not get the album until 2025. But it's still better than the new Tool album, which we'll no doubt get the day after Maynard James Keenan dies in like 40 years. So he's going to live to be like 90 just to piss us off. But I think that the Megadeth record for this year is going to be really solid. It has a lot of great potential. There are some things that are a bit cringeworthy on there, a couple of the song titles and everything, but it has a real good potential, real good bass. I've heard Dystopia. I'm not going to review the song this close to the album being released. There's really no points. We're just going to wait. I like Dystopia. And that's the thing. So far, the 3 tracks that I've heard have been, they've been fine, you know. I'm not necessarily over the moon to the point of holy fucking shit. But I like them, you know. They're good tracks. They're good tracks. Why haven't I reviewed Adele's 25? I just missed it. Plain and simple. I just missed it. I missed the disc. It's unfortunate because I've heard the disc ever since it came out. My mother got it actually as a Christmas present. And we listened to it, I believe it was on New Year's Day. And it's a pretty good disc. It's a pretty solid disc. I don't know if it surpasses 21, but I think that it's more mature. Mustaine hasn't been my wife for like 3 years. Oh, man. It's been a long time since I got divorced from Dave Mustaine. But I still keep a little reminder of him above my head at all times. At all times. It's my reminder that that was the life that I once knew. And now I'm better. I'm stronger. Plus, I got half of his shit. Do I have any other hobbies besides metal? Yes, I do. Oh, man, the list of hobbies is absurd. Some of which you see through the different channels. I like wrestling. I like talking about it. I don't watch a lot of it anymore. But I watch as much as I need to really speak about it. Love sports. I've been a sports fan for a long period of time, and that's not going to change anytime soon. I like the game. I used to hike a lot and do a lot of stuff outside. I have bad knees, bad hips, so that kind of limits things a little bit. Love to work. Anybody out there needs a job done or needs somebody at their office, it pays better than $11 an hour. Let me know, because I'm currently looking for something. Love pizza, porn. I'm kidding. Or am I? Considering we've had conversations in here. What's your top 5 porn stars, Cover Killer Nation? I don't know. Who cares? Do I like bowling for soup? I can get soup out of a can anytime I want. Why the fuck would I bowl for it? But I do enjoy bowling, and I do enjoy soup. But I was born before 1985. They just did a really, really cool, or there was just a really cool video posted of 10 famous guitar players, like their style, doing Get Lucky by Daft Punk, and that was really cool. I should share that over to the CKN page so you guys can check it all out. How old am I? I am a blossoming young woman of 16. Too stoned. Slap me them digits. What's going on, Iceman? Man, it must be early over there. Or is it late over there? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was joking with one of my friends the other day because about 10 or so years ago, I remember that I was chatting online on a website with a rather ravishing young Australian chickadoo. And we had just parted company. We stopped talking. You know, we didn't talk all that much, but we were talking about Iggy Azalea, this friend of mine and I, and she said to me, man, how weird would it be if that chick that you talked to 10 years ago who was freaking batshit crazy ended up being Iggy Azalea? And I said to her that was impossible because the chick that I talked to at the ripe age of 21 at that stage was more beautiful than Iggy Azalea ever could dream of being, even with plastic surgery. Cover Killer is not 38. He's not 33. I told you, I'm 16. Christ. Hoping to drive in 2 years, guys. Oh, wait. 2 years? I'm going to drink right now. Anyway. Yeah, this descends into absolute nonsense, Blue Raven. We seldom stay on topic. Is Punk dying? Is Punk alive? Like, seriously, is Punk alive? Because that crap that's on Warped Tour, that's not punk music, first of all. I really think that punk music is in the underground, to be perfectly honest. Chuck Billy is ruining Testament for you. Just take that up with Chuck Billy. Watch out for trigger words. Now I have to. I was looking up gender-neutral pronouns earlier today because of a meme I saw on Facebook. And the first thing that came to my mind is, how the fuck do you say this shit? Like, I know how to say he. I know how to say she. But how do you say XE? Is he? And then are you supposed to sound like a fucking French fool whenever you're doing the Z? The Z. Z is talking to Zer. It's freaking ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. Bruce Jenner is still a man on the inside. And honestly on the outside too. I wouldn't bone him. Her. It. I am super triggered right now. I am triggered by this entire conversation. I'm going to write a very, very angry post on Tumblr about how I am so triggered that my blood sugar has spiked to the point where I might become a murderer. But you can't put me away because you keep on calling me by the wrong damn pronoun. And if you can't address me like a human fucking being, then you're the one that's on trial. That includes you, Judge what the fuck your name is. Who gives a shit? Judge Alien Ant Farm. Do I open links? I like closed links or chain links. I like fences. They're cool. All depends on what the link is, to be perfectly frank. He, she, or it. I'll tell you what, she or it, or she, it, as I like to call it. There's a lot of that out there. Yes, I do remember the time I had really good sex, the Morbid Angel's first album. How the fuck did I tell you about that? Did I tell people about that? I hope I did, because if not, then I might have just discovered your identity. And, what's up? Yeah. But yeah, that is actually one of the coolest. That is actually one of the coolest memories that I have of a trip to California. Having really, really good nookie to the first Morbid Angel album. And yes, I stuck it in her. Yeah! But to be perfectly fair, I needed to have. Yes, I do like Risk, by the way. I deserved what I got. I deserved that because in the relationship that I was in immediately before that, I didn't have sex to it, but in that girlfriend's car, her mother had followed me by Uncle Cracker over and over again on a cassette tape for 30, or maybe it was 60. It might have been a 120-minute long tape. The entire side of the tape was just that song. Was just that song. By the end of that tape, or really just by the end of one car ride, I wanted Uncle Cracker dead. I really did. I wanted Uncle Cracker so killed that anytime I hear that song now, I am triggered. I think I have PTSD. I think I have PTSD thanks to Uncle fucking Cracker. Because of follow me, everything is so, yeah! It's like getting flashbacks to fucking Vietnam. Just beat it, yeah. Tell you what, I will beat it to a couple things, that's for damn sure. Get a couple fans of CKN that I can beat it to. That'd be something else. Is rock or metal making a comeback with Evanescence, Disturbed, Atreyu, and Breaking Benjamin coming back? No. Rock and metal made a comeback because 2015 was an amazing year. Because there are great young bands out there, and the old dogs are still proving that they have plenty left in their tanks. Watch your profanity. Okay. One moment. Where's that stinking pen at, you piece of... Pardon. Oh, that was a nice thing. Here's my profanity right here. One of my favorite words to use. Keeping an eye on you. I'm keeping an eye on you. Okay. Animals as Leaders, pretty good. I'm a fan. I definitely enjoy it. But so we've gotten way off course here. Completely off course. Here, you can watch my language too. Watch my language with me, why don't you? So I'm hoping to find something good for a what if, or irrelevant or ridiculous. I'm spitfiring a couple ideas. Right now. One of them is what if Andy Wood never dies from Mother Love Bone? There's been one that I've been trying to do for the past couple of weeks. And I just can't seem to get it right in my head. And that is, what if Paul Di'Anno's never fired from Iron Maiden? So we're going to see what happens there. Hipster black metal. Like for the relevant or ridiculous, I've been doing specifically like subgenres and everything like that. except for the true metal fans or whatever it is, true cult, whatever the fuck. I forget what the video was now. I can't remember all this shit. But so people are now looking up my age. Oh God. Alfred is in surgery right now. What? Was he in an accident and coming back from the Lemmy deal? Wow. Say convincingly, but who the hell is KSI? Am I dumb? Like, did I just forget? KSI. Yeah, right now I'm very much wondering about Rob Halford. So I'm actually going to stop watching my profanity for a minute. So I apologize. I apologize that I'm not watching my profanity 24/7. I know that that's going to trigger a lot of people. I know that's going to bring a lot of people down. Let's see what we have here. Maybe we have a live reaction video coming. Oh no. Oh boy. I don't see any of it. Let's see here. Did I just get Cena'd? Because I totally just looked up to see if he was in some sort of accident. I've seen nothing. What are your sources? Did I just get owned? Did I just get never gonna give you up? My favorite rap artist is like 100% legit John Cena. No, it's not. I'm kidding. He does have the basic thugonomics though, so he's a good person to listen to if you're just getting into rap. I just got totally owned. Nice. Nice. Did the government take these guns? I'd never had them to begin with. I couldn't get the permit. What if Dimebag didn't die? Damage plan continues. Maybe someday Phil Anselmo stops being a baby. Somebody gave me bullshit. I got owned. My profanity is no longer being watched. What a motherfucker. I do all these nice things for people. I watch my profanity in literal fashion. I write words down on a goddamn notebook, put them there. That way you can see it too. That way you understand that I'm watching my profanity because I'm looking right at the camera. I'm looking at my feedback, watching me watch my profanity. So I'm doing it on like 4 different levels. It's some sort of fucking goddamn inception that's come to goddamn life. And then people decide to be like, you know, Rob Halford's in surgery because he flipped his bike and decided he's going to do a swanton bomb like Jeff Hardy onto the fucking pavement, and then be like, no, I'm just fucking John. No more watching profanity. If I take my shades off, you will all die. It's like The Ring. New lead singer of Rush is Justin Bieber. Huh. That could work. But yeah, actually, so I can see this chat a little bit better, I am going to take them off. Doll, you watch Jackass? Oh, Doll, yes, I do. Have I ever done wrestling moves with my friends? Yeah. Shopping carts, chairs, tables, stuff. Ooh, man. Wow. Taking those off, and then the light that I have in here is actually really freaking great. It's kind of awesome. What if Michael Ackerfeet and Steven Wilson never met? There's a lot of people out there that would be wanking, wishing that it happened. That's all the more that it would be. Jake E. Lee, best Aussie guitarist. Who the fuck is Jake E. Lee? I know who he is, but that's the joke. We're talking about just about anything, Alex. In fact, I'm about a minute away from taking a short break. I should sell you that Megadeth poster. Make me an offer. Make me an offer right now. I will see if it is to my liking. Make me an offer. Come on. How much will you pay for this lovely poster? It's framed. $30. Nah. You must sell me your soul. 7 minutes in heaven with you and your dog. So totally worth it. Why don't I review 5 SOS? SOS. $666 sold. Done. But if you can't actually get me the money, you don't get the poster and a break both your legs. Anyway. I'm going to take a short break. Still hoping to get something that we can use for tomorrow. We're completely and totally like gone from the topic. Relevant or ridiculous or what ifs? $50 for my lamp. That's not mine. Oops. Do I smoke weed every day? Nope. I smoke cigarettes. I'm a dirty fuck. But I'm also a very good fuck. So things work out. I'll be back probably about 5-7 minutes. Relevant or ridiculous? I'm looking for a topic for tomorrow for Members Monday for you guys. If you guys can't come up with anything, then I got to do something different. I got to do something else. And Members Monday becomes just a one-trick pony. Or a what-if topic. What if, or a what-if topic, or a relevant or ridiculous topic. And Joe, I'll be back. Oh, boy. Oh. The flower will win. Am I still actually on? What the hell's going on here? Or did my recording just die? My recording probably just died. My lungs are amazing. I missed the origin? Yeah, well. Won't be the first time. Well, Carrie King thing was kind of interesting a little bit. Oh, I am on. No, well, that's all 100% then just my internet's being stupid. Oh boy. Well, it actually is kind of unfortunate because I'm going to have to split here in about 10 minutes. Got some family stuff that just sort of came up. Which sucks. Someone is not doing very well. But anyway. What I'm going to do, though, I'm going to pose the same question that was here in the chat for the 2 videos for tomorrow over in the Facebook group. So if you do have some legit ideas, please do throw it over there. Throw them over there. That's what we're looking to do tomorrow, because if we don't do that, then I'll have to come up with something else, which, you know, I can do. I have the ability. It's very easy for me to kind of think on the fly a little bit. The live stream schedule for the next couple of weeks will probably be very similar to this week, where I try to do it on the weekends. Obviously, these next couple of weeks should be a little bit more enthralling, considering we have some pretty big releases coming out from bands such as Megadeth and Dream Theater, Witchcraft. Coming later on this week, we have a lot of good things that are going down. So, review the new Opeth. I've already done that. So I'll probably be looking to stream during the weekends. That'll probably be more of the time that I do it. And for right now, I'm going to still be over here on YouTube until the whole Twitch thing gets resolved, which will probably not get resolved until I'm able to upgrade some more equipment, unfortunately. Little thingy on the wall next to the Megadeth poster, yeah. We'll scuff, probably. We'll scuffle. We'll scuttle. But, yeah. I'll also be looking to stream for a little bit longer coming soon, considering one of the things that I would like to do is once a month do some sort of like 12-hour stream that includes the recording of videos live, which we really need. But I've been talking about that for 2 months, so whether or not that happens is kind of up in the air. That Patreon might get revamped, or it might just die a sweet death. Thanks to all the people who have been a part of it. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right, well, I am going to have to roll. Like I said, I'm going to post that idea or the script for Members Monday over in the chat. Not over in the chat, over on the Facebook group. I thank you guys for all of the love that you guys gave, all the top 10 lists. If you have not checked those out yet, I highly recommend that you do so. I'm fine. I got some folks over at the house that are going to be waiting for me. I have a relative that's pretty ill, and might be attending a funeral soon. So I will post that over there in the Facebook group. I'm looking for serious inquiries. Obviously, I love your creativity. I love the fact that you guys are just off the wall. You guys are really, really great at that, and I appreciate that. I approve of that 100%. But obviously, for these vids, I'm aiming for a little bit of semi-seriousness, maybe. I don't know. If I see something that's crazy enough that I can do something with, I might still do it. I really might. So relevant and ridiculous, and a what if. And you know what? I'm going to expand it to one more. I'll expand it to one more, considering last week it was a part of what was going on, and we didn't end up doing one. That's a CKN Reacts. So I'll throw 3 up there, and then I'll end up doing 2 tomorrow. And that'll be kind of how it goes. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, it's very easy to find over there. I'm assuming that most of you probably have come over from Facebook, but if you have not and you're not a member of the group, just go over to facebook.com and look up Cover Killer Nation. It will be easy to locate. And you're definitely going to want to be a part of it, and all of that, considering Members Monday is usually exclusively just for the Facebook group. That's what I'm trying to go with. But obviously today, there was a grand total of 4 suggestions given, and none of them were all that good. And I think it's probably because not a lot of people saw the post. I'm extremely excited for Deadpool. I am going to... Oh, Facebook banned you. That sucks a lot. But I'll chat to you guys later. See you later.